Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast that just holds so much love and desire and just greatness. This is called Mother on Movies, the podcast where mom watches movies against her will, sometimes not, but against her will that makes her roll her eyes, but she also enjoyed it at the same time. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So basically, but who chose this movie?
You chose this movie.
And why did I?
Because when we were children, young children, you were told, well, this movie specific, well, we're going to have a story behind pretty much every movie that we're going to do. Perhaps, but this one's one of the best. This is one of the movies that we discussed, when we were plotting this podcast. By the way, raw, uncut. Well, probably going to be cut a little bit, but this podcast is pretty much just off the fly. There is no plan. There's nothing. We're just going to discuss the movies. Anyway, and of course, it's Mom's opinions and me enjoying the conversation. Basically,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this movie, and you're going to...
I'm going to chime in
in.
any way I can.
I think a lot of it's already been chimed in as we discussed it prior to recording.
Oh, my gosh. We were rolling
So I
and
had
laughing.
to stop so
Yes.
we could save it for the podcast.
Yes. So anyway, this movie was told by my mother that it was the
By
worst.
another trusted adult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got a rep. And that's not in a negative because he banned a bunch of these movies that we weren't supposed to watch. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. We're talking about he said that this movie was the worst movie ever.
To that time, it was pretty bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was called deaths per minute, DPMs. And how many DPMs does it have? That was the test of if a child should watch it or not.
Whatever.
This one has a lot per minute.
All I know is I got to watch movies that I was not supposed to watch.
Yeah, because your parents were out and about and didn't watch you very well.
Well, that and, of course, Dad had high influence. He took me to the movies a lot. And then
also, we had cable.
Yeah. HBO. Tonight's the night. Yeah, you forgot about that one.
This was in the 80s.
Yes.
1980s.
Yes. So, anyway, this movie, like I said, was supposed to be the worst movie ever. And guess what? This is how she found out we watched it. Me, my sister, and my dad were watching the movie, and Mom walks in a quarter way through the movie and just loses her stuff. A little argument ensues, and guess what? We still watch the whole movie. Thanks, Dad. Anyway, it's Total Recall, everybody. Arnold Schwarzenegger's beautiful movie of Total Recall. I love this movie. This movie brings me joy. This movie brings me and it's the joke of the family. Every time we talk about Recall, it's, hey, that's when so-and-so said it was the worst movie ever, and we were never allowed to watch it. We had to watch it on VHS because that person who said the movie was the worst ever in the history of mankind, we couldn't go to the movie theater and go watch it. While everybody else got to go see it.
Well, you know what? It did stall it off for another year or two, though, because in those days, it didn't come out 6 months after.
No, it was actually a year. You waited a year or
while.
Two for
so
that
at
to
least
come out.
you got to grow up a smidge.
Oh, but still was the best. It was the best. Anyway, okay, Mother, are you ready to discuss Total Recall?
Yes, I have several notes, and we can go over this.
Okay.
And by the way, this was actually a 1990 movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so some of you that may be listening weren't even born yet,
yes.
which is kind of scary.
Watch the movie. Go ahead.
I don't think they'll get it.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. All right, this is Total Recall. Let's do this.
But at the time, in 1990, I did a small little research, very small. It was the most expensive movie made at that time.
How much did it cost?
$261 million.
That's a lot of money.
No, I'm sorry. It made $261 million.
Oh.
But I don't know how much it I'm sorry. Maybe you guys can, find out for us.
In the comments, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. It's not that important.
$260 million? That's a lot of money in 1990.
Well, that's how much it grossed.
That's what I'm saying. That's
okay.
a lot of money.
Yeah, it was.
$260 million. Okay. Also, in today's money, $260 million. What does that equal? A lot. Okay, go ahead.
Well, anyway, so it opens up on this red planet. You've got some people, there, and they're in their space suits, and it's a man and it's a woman. It's kind of romantic, and it's a red planet, so it's basically Mars, okay?
It is Mars.
It is Mars. And, it's all nice, and the next thing you know, somebody slips and falls, right?
Yeah. Yes! Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They slip and fall, and of course, they're panicking. The man's panicking because or which one?
No,
the man or the woman?
Okay, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He falls, and then his oxygen thing breaks. Now,
it was bad break too.
Yeah,
it's not just like
no, it shattered the whole face because basically the helmet's a full
now everything
window.
And I got to tell you this: everything in this movie is like the worst. It's the worst blood spray. It's the worst shots. It's the worst. Everything shattering in this thing.
Oh my
Glass
gosh.
is shattering in shards and bursting everywhere.
Beautiful.
Okay.
That's what that is. So no, basically the theme is that when your air, if you're exposed to the atmosphere of Mars, your body starts, your head starts swelling up, your eyes start popping out, your tongue gets huge, and basically
so
you turn into a
silly.
lizard.
Yeah, but I don't
but a
understand
dead
that.
lizard. I don't, dude. It's Mars. It's whatever.
It would just anyway. That was kind of a crazy notion.
Right.
Okay, so so anyway, what happens? It's a dream.
It's a dream
or a nightmare. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, which his name in this is
Quaid.
So Quaid wakes up. He's all in his apartment with his woman and
his wife Sharon Stone.
Yeah, she's Sharon Stone. Her name's Lori. So let's instead of having their real names, let's say Quaid and Lori, right?
Yes.
And they're there, and she's trying to make it a really nice, day for him.
Yes.
And take care of him and nice breakfast. Don't look at the news. Yeah, the news he had on, Carl. What was that all about?
It was okay. Basically, in the reality of the movie, is that Mars is all the planets have been basically occupied, okay, or colonialized, okay.
Yeah.
So the Mars is of course the furthest one out. I believe. Yeah, Mars is the furthest one out, so it's always the forgotten one. There's a civil...
No, Mars is just the next one to us. Earth, Mars.
Oh, well, it shows how much I pay attention in science class. Anyway, Mars is the red planet, obviously, and basically there's a revolution going on Mars because there's the rumor has it that there's actually life on Mars before it was colonized.
And this is the colony is basically a mining colony.
It is a mining colony, that is correct.
Some important... natural resources.
That is correct.
Okay, and it's been there for a long time and lots of money involved with it. So they show on the news. What do they show on the news?
Well, they show the actual, the fighting in the streets between rebels and the military, I guess you want to call it?
Yeah,
or
the
security force or whatever. And sure enough, they're recording it, and of course, there's you hear gunfire and stuff. And what do they show? They show some dude just literally getting executed, just straight up, just right, and you hear the guy go, "Get out of here, bleep," kind of stuff, and then he goes back to normal news and stuff.
Yeah, so Lori, his wife, puts it off into a nice scene or something.
Yeah, it's something that, believe it or not, we have on our televisions now.
It does, huh?
a lot of predictions in this movie. But go ahead, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he just, but Quaid wants to go to Mars. He wants to move to Mars.
Yes,
he doesn't know why, but he wants to move to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars.
What's in that reference to?
No. I jumped ahead. I'm sorry,
okay.
But go ahead.
So then, he wakes up. He has to go to work, and he gets ready, and she's like, "Oh, honey," and all this stuff, and she's very sweet and beautiful.
Don't you want to see the rings of Saturn? Everyone said it's beautiful. And what does he do? He turns on the news. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm jumping. I'm not jumping ahead. Because he's trying to, convince him, hey, forget about Mars, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to Saturn.
Yeah, she's always trying to divert him from what he's thinking.
What he's thinking. And she always says, not another dream about Mars. And quick rewind, the morning when he wakes up from his thing, and then, of course, apparently he has discussed with his wife.
In the past, this dream, right?
The dream, yes, in the dream. And, of course, Burnett calls her Burnett. He's like, why are you jealous of a dream kind of thing? Because he is a little jealous of the dream.
Because it's another woman.
It's another woman, and there's reasons ahead of the movie. But go ahead.
Yeah, now that you say that, that's silly. You shouldn't even say that.
Then we can edit it. Welcome to our conversation.
Okay,
All right, so go ahead.
Yeah, don't jump ahead. Burnett. Brunette.
Brunette.
So he's going to work. He's going on the subway. Now, this place that he's going to is fantastic. It looks like a cement mall of some sort.
Right, yeah.
And I looked it up because I couldn't stand it. I go, where is that? Because they couldn't make a set like that.
Right.
And it's actually a subway station in Mexico City.
Oh, okay. Well, because because when they're kind of giving you an idea of like the background of where society is today.
Yes.
And in order, it's kind of like today. Where to get on the subway, you have to go through a metal detector.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And it's actually a full body screen X-ray.
Yeah,
so
and it's totally funny because
you can see everybody walking.
see everybody's spine,
and you can
all
see,
the bones.
And you can see the dog, and there's the dog walking as well.
Yeah, and all you can see is an outline of all the bones.
Clothing and then the bones, yes.
Yeah, no flesh or anything.
No flesh, no. Just walking bones, yeah.
Yeah, so they do that, and it's kind of a neat scene.
Right.
So
very colorful. Yeah,
so he gets into the subway and he looks, there's flashing ads on the screens.
Like there are right now in the subways of New York.
And there's talking about, hey, Carl, tell him about the ad because you know the ad.
Okay. So basically you have some 80s actor. I can't remember his name, but he starts talking about, Recall. It's the show, the places that he's promoting or talking about is Recall. And it's like, have you ever wanted to swim on the bottom of the ocean, but you can't even get out of the bed? Oh, that's what it was, yeah. And then he goes, and have you ever wanted to see the rings of Saturn, but you can't get ahead? If you always wanted to climb the mountains of Mars, but now you're over the hill, come to Recall, where we can have your vacation and without even leaving. And then he goes the songs because come to Recall for the memory of a lifetime. And then, of course, he opens his hands, a butterfly. For the memory of a lifetime, recall, recall, recall. Book today. Very cheesy, but that.
Now, Carl, I just saw this morning. And I don't remember that at all.
Oh, my gosh.
So this is a movie that he's memorized just about.
It looks like you're going to have to rewind it with me and watch it with me. Well, look, there it is. There it is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So here we go. Quaid is he
looks like he's a construction worker.
He is a construction worker. He's working on a jackhammer all
Yes,
day.
and that's my sister's favorite scene, by the way.
He has no safety equipment on.
Yes, yeah. There's no safety equipment, just a hard helmet and gloves, and he's literally, doing his jackhammer thing, and you see
he
his
doesn't even have a hard hat.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He has a hard hat on, and then because the reason why I know this is because of the jiggling bicep. He's always trying to, in these Arnold movies, if you don't pay attention, he's totally doing a full body flex on almost every scene. I won't get into Commando, but in Terminator. But anyway, no, he's doing the full flex, and he talks to Hetty, have you ever heard of Recall? Have you ever heard of Recall? What?
It was Harry, right?
It was Harry, yeah. Of course I remember this. Why do I remember this stuff? It's weird. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically, Harry tries to discourage him because there was somebody who got a lobotomy. I can't even say it right.
He got lobotomized.
Yes, that means they don't do it anymore, but they used to do it in the, first part of the 20th century.
Yes.
And they would cut something in your brain to calm you down, but basically made you comatose.
Yes. You're basically a walking vegetable.
Yes. So anyway, he's thinking, maybe I shouldn't do it. Well, what did he do? He ended up going there to Recall anyway because he wanted to get away he wanted an adventure.
He had to go to Mars.
He wanted an adventure, and he had a specific thing he wanted.
Yes,
to do.
and of course, how cool was it, though, where the receptionist, she just touches her nails, and it changes colors.
That was cool.
That was cool. But go ahead. She said, hi, welcome to Recall. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and so they have the slick salesman, kind of like...
Dave. Why do I remember this?
It's kind of like, if you're going to buy a used car or you're going to buy a new car.
Hey, what's going on there, pal?
Yeah, it's all about those overcoming all the
basically he's doing his pitch sale. First of all, it's like, of course he's in the office and they got a little thing projecting set up. And he's like, hey, so what do you want to do? He's like, do you want to go to Saturn? They're very popular, right? Yeah. That's literally how he sounds like. Okay?
Exactly.
And he's like, I want to go to Mars. Mars is just, he
Right,
just tries
because
to,
Mars is just a mining colony. It's not even a vacation
no,
spot.
it's not a destination of travel, okay?
No.
So sure enough, and he goes like this, and then he goes, nope, I just want 2 weeks, you want, all this kind of stuff. He sells them on it. He's like, okay, I'll do Mars, right? Okay.
Yeah, because he didn't want to lose the sale.
He didn't want to lose the sale. So anyway, do you want to continue? Yeah, how about this? We'll just go on further, and if you
Oh, it was only 899 credits.
You remember the dollar amount.
I wrote it down for 2 weeks of detailed memory. Okay.
Detailed memory.
And the advantage is there's no traveling, no packing your bags, none of it.
Yes, yeah, that's how he sells them. You don't have to luggage getting lost, flights being delayed, like all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yes, okay,
and he says, and you can have another person go with you. They can build it into your trip.
Yeah.
And so they go to, or you could even make a different identity for yourself, an alter identity. No, it says right on the thing. It's part of the pitch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can. Why go to Mars as a tourist? We can go as a sports star or a rock and roll hero.
Whatever you want.
And then, or a secret agent.
Yeah,
secret agent.
So then they ask him his preferences about women and this and that. So he goes through a list. Basically, he picks out. No, wait, no.
Hold on. You're missing an important part of the whole thing when he says secret agent, and he tries to sell him on that, and because it's an upgrade, it's an extra
That's
dollar
true. It's
amount.
an extra $300.
Who? He's like, oh. You're under covert, like he really gets into the story. You're in covert operations, and this, and that, and you meet this beautiful girl, and then he goes, Go on. I don't want to spoil it for you, but hey, it's up to you. But isn't it worth a measly 300 credits? And sure enough, he's backing into the chair.
Yeah, but they want to know what kind of female he
wants. Yes,
and
then that's when they talk
go
about...
through, and he picks, I think it's 41A. He picks a woman, 41A.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And she strangely is familiar looking as the one in the dream that he had that morning.
Well, the whole thing is before we go to 41A, there's more to it. What happens is they ask him his sexual preference. He's this hetero. So, of course, the girls show up. And he's like, blonde, brunette, redhead, voluptuous, athletic. He basically, they customize a female for him. And then, of course, attitude, sleazy and demure. That's how he says it. So, anyway, go ahead. And then they punch it all in there. Yeah. And then it goes, do. There it is, Ernie. 41A. Why do I know Ernie's name? Oh, my gosh. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so he goes under and they.
Hold on. You're missing
go ahead.
This is where you're missing an important thing. So she hands Ernie the memory thing, right? I guess the injector.
Yeah.
The thing, and people miss this part of the movie, and I got it like after the fourth time I saw the movie.
Yeah, because I saw it. I don't.
Right.
Tell me what it is.
He goes like this, and the thing is, when he says it, it's very faint, but you can hear it. He goes, "Oh, blue sky on Mars." No.
Yeah. What does that mean? Tell us.
Keep going. No, just keep going. It's a little Easter egg, a little nugget. But go ahead. Keep going with the story.
Oh, okay. Well, you said that, and I don't know where I'm going now.
No. Continue with the story. Continue with the movie. Just keep going.
Okay.
Just keep going. No. There's just.
So he is getting an injection.
Yes.
Okay. And it's right in your neck. I mean, it's like everything in this movie has to be the worst possible, right? Like, why wouldn't you just give something in their nice arm or get, you know what I mean?
Because he has
right
a muscle.
in your neck.
Because it's the open skin of his muscly neck, and he can flex his neck. Once again, Arnold Schwarzenegger flexes throughout his movies.
So basically, this is all to showcase Arnold's physique.
Physique, yes. It's always been that. Always been that.
Okay, well, anyway.
And that's fine. It's cool. If I had Arnold's body, I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but to me,
then.
just as a story, why would you shoot someone in the neck? It's
just
gross.
Because remember the clothes he's wearing. He's a construction worker, so he's wearing a flannel. He's wearing boots. He's wearing things.
Can't strip down a little bit.
No, he's not going to strip down because.
You're going to be in those clothes
point.
for 2 weeks?
Well, no. Remember, it's just a memory implant. That's all. See, that's the thing you're missing. It's a memory implant. It's only in there for a few hours. He's not going to be there for. Mom.
Oh, it's going to seem like 2 weeks.
Yes, it's literally implanted. So he's only there for maybe an hour or two. He's not there for the full-blown 2 weeks. All it is enough time for the implant to take effect
and
run through the whole. What? What? You thought he was going to sit there for 2 weeks?
Yeah, I always have.
Okay, first of all, what is his wife going to say? Where's my husband?
I don't know. These are details that I was like, whatever, it's a movie, right?
I've not seen this movie in at least 10 years, and that's the God-honest truth. Why do I know this? Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, so we got some time to go through this.
Let's do it.
We're already running quite a while. Okay, so what happens after he gets prepared to get going and he gets the injection? Then what?
Oh, it's back on me now? Okay, fine. Okay, so basically what happens is he ends up getting out, right? Like, he just ends up waking up in a hi, I'm a Johnny Cab. Ha, ha, ha. Yes, that's the voice. It's a Johnny Cab, and he wakes up, and he's like, where am I? Where am I? Well, basically, actually, you know what? I fast forward literally maybe 2 minutes. What happens is then an alarm goes off, and this is where everything goes weird, because he starts to fade out after he starts talking about, sleazy.
Correct.
Demure.
Just like,
so he passes out.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, there's Bob selling another lady on a wonderful trip. It's like alarms and stuff, and they're all banging everything on the thing because they're trying to get his attention, but he has his phone on mute because he's trying to make a sale. And sure enough, we got a problem. We have another psycho on our hands or something.
A schizoid
blah, blah, blah. Watch the movie. Anyway, so
it's a schizoid embolism.
Embolism, yeah. So he ends up going over there. Next thing you know, you blew my cover. And this is where possibility, there's a lot of, things, is that this is where the actual memory takes effect, and this is where his 2-week vacation is now taking hold. So, of course, he has a subhuman strength, obviously. So he ends up pretty much murdering one of the tech guys.
Wait a second. So he's still in the room.
He's still in recall. He's still in recall, but he's struggling to get out of the chair, and all he's saying is, "You blew my cover. You blew my cover." He's like, and of course, you have the dialogue between Bob and I don't even know the doctor's name, but it's Bob. But he ends up like taking like he's just struggling through that, and they finally kind of the sleep aid. They shoot him like 15 times or whatever in the leg and the arm or whatever they can. Right, to get
him, it's kind of to knock him out.
And of course, basically at the end, all you hear Bob say is, what did you just do? Da 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 da. All I did was this. He's like, no, and this is where the plot thickens. People sometimes just fast forward through this, or they just don't pay attention. Is that where the doctor says, no, I have, he's like, oh, what did you do? What did you do? It's just a stupid implant. That's all you're supposed to do, you stupid bleep, right? And she goes, that's impossible. He's like, why not? How is that impossible? Because we haven't implanted it yet. And it's just like, oh, snap. Now this is where the plot thickens. So of course, what they do is they refund his money, and then he wakes up in, ha ha ha, I'm a Johnny Cab.
Right. He doesn't have any memory.
He has no memory of nothing. He just wakes up and goes, how did I get in here? The door opened. You just popped in.
Yeah, it's an Android type of...
It's an Android-driven cab called Johnny Cab.
And they're very kind of slow, too.
they're slow, and yet they're also creepy-looking. It looks like Jim Carrey when he did, let me tell you something. What was it?
What's it kind of looks
Fire
like
Marshal Bill.
It kind of looks like a marionette.
Yes, very creepy looking.
A little puppet thing.
Yes. So anyway, he ends up getting out of the cab, okay, and then he runs into Harry. Harry meets him at his house, his apartment, or whatever it is.
Yeah, now had his. Well, they were like in the mall because I guess they lived partly in the mall and the subway station.
Yeah, it's like a combo. It's a combo. It's a combination.
And
Harry,
his coworker, was there.
Yeah.
That told him not to go to recall.
Yeah. Hey, did you go to recall? And then he was like, I never went to recall. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Da 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 da. Next thing you know, a couple guys come up behind Schwarzenegger. I'm sorry, Quaid comes up behind Quaid, and they put him in a dark area. And then of course Harry has a gun, and he's all freaked out. Next thing you know what hits the fan. He ends up breaking the guy's neck, and he ends up killing Harry with the gun that Harry had. Somehow he became this super James Bond Superman guy where he's killing. Next thing you know, he ends up killing Harry and his other two goons.
Okay, so I want to say this, that this was where it starts with the blood. There's lots of blood everywhere.
When he shoots that guy in the back, he's got blood all over his hands. He's covering the mouth, but he's not really covering it. It's like halfway. It's a movie blender, but still.
And there's a crunching bones.
Oh, totally. Oh, 100%. This is when Steven Seagal was doing it, and he was the only one that was actually really doing it, where everyone got a kick out of what bones is Steven Seagal going to break.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yes, and then they started to incorporate it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, let's go on, okay? And because we got a ways to go here.
Let's go. Come on.
So Doug goes back to the apartment, tells Lori, what happened.
And pivot and serve and stroke.
Okay, she was doing some kind of it kind
tennis
of looks
lessons.
like a Wii.
Yes, it's a tennis lessons.
Right?
That's a hologram. Yes.
It's like kind of like Wii, and she's doing that. Comes in, and he's all paranoid. They're after me. They try to kill me. Oh no,
she's pretty much
trying
to go BS.
She's trying to say, "Oh, you're just having an episode." And
then he
goes to the bathroom, tries to clean up.
Nope, you forgot to say. See, this is important stuff here. That's very important because he's like, "You're delusional. You're losing it." He's like, "Oh, you hallucinated all of it." Then he pulls his hands up and they're covered in blood. He's like, "Did I hallucinate this?" And then he goes to the bathroom to wash up and he's like, "I'm going to call somebody." "Don't you call anybody."
Right, because she wanted to call the doctor.
Or did she?
Okay, so, it comes out to gunfire. All of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. Something's going on in the living room. And he's saying, Lori.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out.
Right. And so, basically, they have a fight. He's fighting this unknown assailant. And it turns out to be...
Lori.
Okay, so she's an agent against him.
Yes.
All right. Now, she tries to kill him. And basically, bottom line, he finds out at that point that it's... a fake
marriage, yes. It's a fake marriage. Basically,
but it's a fake memory. They implanted him.
It's an implant, yes.
Yes.
So their marriage is an implant. Their life is an implant. Friends, family, job,
Right. It was
set
like
up by the agency.
It was an 8-year implant.
Yes.
Like, in other words, he thought everything was going on for 8 years.
Yeah,
and
and
it's only been a few weeks.
Only a few weeks, yeah. It was like, a month or, 4 weeks, something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he didn't remember who he really was. And so he's freaking out. And his memory was erased. So she distracts him. "Oh, honey, it's okay." And she's trying to, she always...
Buy time.
Yeah, buy time. Because in the background, you see people coming up from the security camera to come and get him.
Clever girl.
Okay. So he finally, when he sees that they're coming for him, he hits her, knocks her out, and he gets away.
Yes. In a nutshell, he gets away. Yes.
Yeah. And so, there's a big scene. They're trying, we can't go.
No, scene for scene. No, go ahead.
But it's just they're trying to track him down in the subway, and all kinds of people are there. I mean, this place is so crowded, and it's so interesting because he gets caught in the subway machine with his gun, which is funny, and the alarms start going off.
Yes.
Boop, boop, boop. And then he ends up getting out of there by crashing another glass,
yes.
Shards everywhere. Okay. And he crashes through to get out of the subway scanning machine, okay? And there's a lot of running, bumping into people, and the people chasing him are running over people, and it's a gun battle. Now, they start on this escalator gun battle, right?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he's got a poor innocent guy, and he's using him as a shield, a human shield.
Well, no, because he got shot, and he died, so he said, well, F... I'm going to use him as a shield. And yes, that's where he gets shot like 15 times. You hear the...
Yeah, there's all this
crunching,
noise and
bone shattering.
And all this blood splurting out.
And then he throws the body at...
And not only that, he throws the body down, but we have to look at it. The camera makes us look at it,
Right.
Everything has to be exaggerated.
Well, yeah. This is $260 million. Or it made 260. Come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's so ridiculous and over
that
the
top. That it made money. Ooh, over the top. Good movie.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So then, let's see. Oops, I got my little notes here. Okay, so they step on all the shot up people, blood, mangled bodies. He runs all this glass. So he finally makes it into another subway car. After all that, actually, he broke into the subway car. Glass everywhere because he just
more glass,
whoosh, right?
More glass,
and of course all the people are looking at him like
right?
They're trying not to say anything because they don't want to get killed,
right?
And there's another commercial. You want to go through this commercial, or do you remember it? So basically, he sees an advertisement for real space travel vacation.
Oh,
not yet.
Oh yeah, it's like well, Why do a memory implant? Well, you can do it the old-fashioned way.
Yes. Okay, so meantime,
he shakes his head.
So the guy that's after him is called Richter.
Richter.
Okay? And he is this guy who's working for a bigger guy. But anyway.
It is Powers Booth. Oh, my gosh, the typical 80s typical 80s villain. Go ahead.
Okay, so he's basically, got his crew, and they're trying to track Arnold down.
Yes.
Okay. And so he's frustrated because he's constantly, losing him.
Yes. And he's supposed to be the best in the agency. Well, he's constantly reminded by the boss who says, basically that you're getting to the point where they can't kill him. That's the thing. They're not supposed to kill him. They're supposed to detain him.
Oh, okay. They're supposed to detain Quaid.
They're supposed to detain Quaid because Quaid's one of their own.
Okay,
and Richter is constantly reminded. I'm just giving you a little backstory here. This is why Richter gets frustrated, and that's why he gets mad, and that's why he does the things that he does. That needs to be understood. Richter is the one who's constantly reminded that he's number 2.
Okay, so they get a call. Okay, so he's getting his butt chewed out
by
his name is, I've got it right here, Cohagen.
That's correct.
So Cohagen is the top dog, and we'll go on to that in a minute. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, so then we go back to Quaid, right? I don't know how he gets into this room, but he gets, because I got it on a maybe cut up a little bit movie.
The Hilton.
Yeah, he gets into a room, and he gets a call from a man who instructs him how to hide. Because, we forgot, there's some very important thing on this chase. What is it, Carl?
Tracking.
Yeah, there's a tracking
Where's
device.
The tracking device? Yes.
Well,
he doesn't. He's not aware of the tracking device yet.
Right, but
he's
he gets a call from
is.
somebody that says, we got to get that out of here.
A friend from the agency.
Yeah, he has to get it out. So, Carl, how does he get this thing out?
Well, inside first of all, he has to put a wet towel over his head.
Yes.
So he looks like he's a man from East India. And because the water, the dampness of the towel muffles the signal. So that's how they're trying to find him. So there's no way he can find out. But he calls him, basically tells him that he is, a friend of the agency, blah, blah, blah. I have a bag for you that's it's actually a big, huge, massive suitcase. So the suitcase is for you. You told me to leave it here. Who am I? What am I? Of course, he hangs up. By the way, the guy who called it looked like Michael Landon. Anyway, so he goes down there and he
picks up a suitcase in the street.
He picks up a suitcase in the street that was left for. He has to fight with a woman who's trying to steal the case.
Yeah.
And of course her lovely anyway, go ahead. I didn't want to cuss.
Okay, so basically he gets it he gets into a cab, and he has to fight his way out.
Pretty much. Basically what happens is that they see him walking Richter and his partner find him walking and notices that it's him with a towel over his head because they're just trying to look over him because the signal's muffled. So basically, in a nutshell, he pulls out a Johnny cab, rips it apart, and then he takes off and uses the Johnny cab to get away to a construction site. Well,
okay, where he opens up
the
suitcase.
Yes. He opens up the suitcase and comes to find out that there's a laptop in there, which laptops were not really a thing back then.
No.
So this is a laptop that he pulls out. Of course, he has a couple of supplies and a couple of Snickers bars. Love the product placement, by the way, in this movie. Anyway, he basically finds out that he gets pretty much filled in by his real identity. Lets him know, hey, how to pull it out. So basically, the orb's in his skull. So he had to basically pull a big old huge massive lollipop. It looks like a lollipop when he pops it out of his nostril.
Yeah, it was like a drill thing that he had to go in.
He's got little claws on it, and he said,
and he was instructed by his alter ego or his real self how to do it. Now, who's this other guy?
When you hear the crunch, you got it. But
now
anyway,
he says his
self-guiding.
Real name, this other guy is named Hauser.
Yes, that is his real identity.
Yeah, but and Quaid
is his alter ego. Yes.
Okay. So anyway, he tells him he works for Mars Intelligence, and he.
And that's where you find out the background of Cohagen.
Yes.
The plan, and basically is to meet somebody at Mars. So basically, the thing is get your ass to Mars, da-da-da-da-da, and you're going to go from there, okay? So basically, he finds out, next thing you know, he forgets that once he pulls that tracking beacon out of his head, guess what? It's still active.
Yeah.
So now they pinpoint him, and of course, now the guy's like, we found him. So they end up running over there. In a nutshell, he starts shooting at him, but next thing you know, he escapes because he takes the Snickers bar. He puts the beacon inside there, and he throws it. And of course, the rats are all over the construction site, so they just find it out. And of course, they shoot everything up, and then he finally Richter finds the rat. He shoots the rat, and of course, this is where more blood comes involved.
Oh, yeah.
Because it splats up against the laptop screen. It slides down very slowly. It's a full dead rat body, and all you hear is this: "Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars."
Okay, it's gross.
So it's very, very, very graphic.
It's
a whole slab of raw meat just sliding down the
gross.
screen. So next thing you know, they ended up going to Mars. I don't even need notes. They end up going to Mars, and of course, they're looking for him in Mars.
Okay, now can I say
Go
what
for
happened
it.
from here?
Yes.
Okay, so he gets to Mars, but we don't know him yet. So there's a passport agency, like you get off the airplane and you got to show your papers.
How long will he be in Mars? 2 weeks.
Okay, wait a second. You're jumping ahead. So basically what happens is there's all these people going through passport control.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a woman there, and she's a large woman. She has red hair. She's probably in her 50s, a little overweight. And so...
Lovely moo-moo.
It wasn't... no.
It was.
It was not a moo-moo. You don't even know what a moo-moo is.
Yes, I do.
Do you just think it's a large dress is a moo-moo?
No, it was actually a moo-moo.
No, you don't even know what a moo-moo is.
It was a one whole piece, okay, from neck to knees, all right? Or actually ankles. And she had lovely turquoise necklace, lovely big old earrings. Don't sit there and tell me I don't know what this lady was wearing. Go ahead.
Okay. So she ends up saying, he gets to ask the questions, how long are you going to be here? She said 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And then the next thing you know, he asks her some other questions. Did you bring any fruit or vegetables or anything like that? And she keeps saying 2 weeks. So I'm not sure why they did that.
I think what it is that it was only programmed to say just a couple things and that's it.
Yeah, but you should have known about the fruits and vegetables
and
said no.
Well, I don't want to get into it. It will make sense later. We'll just mark that bullet point and we'll talk about it at the end. Go ahead.
Okay, so then the next thing you know, it starts...
Another Easter egg.
Melting down. Like freaking out.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's so gross. And everyone's looking. It's just
she's basically went into panic mode.
Yeah, but it's like it's being malformed. Or,
it's malfunctioning, and then
but it's grotesque. Yeah, and then she's doing all this.
She's
stuff.
putting her hands in her mouth and stretching her mouth out, all that kind of stuff. Well, that basically what happens is this is where this movie was top of the line and why it costs a bunch of money to make. This is CGI. It's literally beginning because the mask ends up, or the lady's face goes, and the eyes are going back and forth. What happens is the malfunction. The face opens up, and this was new. This was like no one ever saw this. Yes, this was like, oh my gosh, did you see that? That never happens.
So these are all the new.
This is basically rolling out all new effects. This is basically the genesis of all what we see now. And that thing comes up, and he closes it like this, and it comes right down there. And if you look closely, you see the fake robotic Terminator face. Yes, because it looks, you're like, oh, that's Arnold, but that's fake. But go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so
Richter sees it. He knows exactly what it is because he's part of the agency, and he knows exactly what these things are. He's looking for Quaid.
Yes, okay.
He's looking for Quaid. So, in a nutshell, I'll speed this up a little bit.
Yes.
He ends up, gunfire ensues. He ends up escaping because they decide to seal the doors. He, of course, dramatically jumps right through it just before because he's got to check into the Hilton. Hilton again. The Hilton at Mars because there's something in a safety deposit box that. So anyway, he goes up there, which someday this will happen where you have to use your thumbprint to actually check into a hotel. I work in the hotel business. I would love to do this, so there's no deniability.
Right now we do it for our phones when we pay for something.
Pretty much. So anyway, he ends up opening up the safety deposit box and he sees the note that Hauser left, okay, and told him who he needs to talk to. It's like Marlena, I believe her name is, right?
Yeah, it says for a good time, ask for Melina.
Melina. Okay. So, and of course, he flips. It's a flyer, basically. Flips it over, and it's oh shoot! I totally forgot the name of that area. It was Venusville.
Oh yeah, Venusville.
Venusville.
It's their red light district.
Yes, it is. So anyway, just to kind of fast forward a little bit, he ends up trying to get a cab to go to Venusville, right? And this is where one of the characters comes in, Benny.
Yeah, because there's an argument of whose cab.
Hey, that's my fare.
Into.
That's my fare, right?
So basically, he gets in, an explosion happens, and it's the rebels, right?
Yeah, the rebels are.
And he
crazy
goes, "What's
chaos.
going on?" And he said, "Those are the rebels. They want their cause is more freedom, more money, and more air."
Yeah, because obviously air is a commodity there, and Cohagen is controlling
air
it.
at Mars.
There's no air in Mars. Yes. So anyway, the key thing is that I got 5 kids to feed. That's the cab's like major thing to get fares. So I got 5 kids to feed. And so anyway,
so they
that plays a
go
role.
to Venusville.
Yes.
And you see disfigured people. They're really like
mutants.
They're called mutants. But something happened to them because of the industry there, right?
It was an explosion that happened that I understand. An explosion happened and it mutated a bunch of people because it was a combination of basically when the glass breaks in the beginning of the movie where their skin starts to stretch out, well, it doesn't go back.
Okay.
So
they were bad domes.
Yes, bad domes. Leaks through the bad domes. Yes.
Okay. So you see all these like freaks. That's what they are.
That's legitimately. You're basically going to the freak show at the circus.
So he goes to the quote unquote last resort bar and brothel.
Yes.
To see Melina.
Yes, there's the midget girl. There's the
it's a typical tough, rough, rude bartender, just like in Star Wars. You know,
yes. Mm-hmm.
He has to ask. Some guy has his back turned. Hey, can I have a drink? You know, he's like all put out. That he asked him for a drink. That kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he meets Mary.
And by the way, there's nothing but mutants that are the part of the brothel.
Workers.
The workers.
Right?
Yes.
He meets Mary. No, he wants Melina. No, she's busy. Here's Mary. No, Mary.
Yeah, she's not. She's free. I'm not free, but available.
Yeah. And so basically, he says, "I'm going to meet for Melina."
I'm going to wait. Yeah.
And so, go ahead. What happened? He sees her from across.
He sees her across the room, and then sure enough, he knows who it is. And of course, she
knows him.
She knows him. She definitely knows him. And remember, he has no idea what the deal is with her.
But he doesn't know her yet.
No, he doesn't know there. And then of course, she grabs him in his man region and says a little funny crude joke. And the next thing you know, they go upstairs. And then as soon as he closes the door and he's trying to get answers, she slugs him straight in the face.
Yeah.
And then you get the deep thing of their relationship,
right?
Because she felt used because he was undercover, and she's explaining it to him in a fast forward way. She's explaining to him that we were together, this and that, and you hurt my heart and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right. And he doesn't remember anything.
Doesn't remember anything,
and she doesn't believe him.
No, she does not. She thinks he's undercover still.
So now I have another break here in a different scene about Dr. Edgemont from Recall, who comes to his hotel room.
Okay, yes, this is when he comes back from Venusville, and of course. He walks in and there he is, and then he's he's chilling in the room, and then he knocks on the door.
Who he?
He is the doctor.
Dr. Edgemont.
Yeah, Dr. Edgemont is the guy who actually was doing the commercial.
Okay.
The recall commercial in the subway.
All right.
So anyway, he ends up talking to him about basically taking the red pill, I believe.
Okay, so he says Quaid is not really on Mars, and neither is he.
Yeah, you're actually in this, you're in that.
Yeah, Dr. Edgemont says that Quaid's strapped in an implant chair at Recall.
Yes.
And the doctor's monitoring him through the psych probe console.
Yes, but then also he's also under the thing that he's a secret agent. So this is where the confusion comes into.
So the doctor says he is an initial. The doctor says he is in a free-form delusional state.
Yes.
And Quaid is making things up as he's going along.
Right.
So the doctor is implanted in him as an emergency measure.
Yes.
And Quaid is experiencing schizoid embolism.
Yeah, psychoembolism, yes.
So doctor's is saying all these elements of his experience that he paid for. It's not real.
It's not real. Everything's basically, in a nutshell, he's basically convincing him to wake up.
Yeah, so he tries to prove it by bringing in Lori.
He brings in Lori.
The wife.
Yes.
And he gives him a red pill, and he says, if you take this pill, to be a symbol that you want to come back to reality.
Right. So basically, he's thinking about it. He sticks it in his mouth, and he notices that the doctor is profusely sweating.
Yeah.
That's where he sees this is bull crap.
Yeah, because if he wouldn't be sweating if he really...
If he was not, exactly. Yes, you are paying attention. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because he was there and he said, I'm going to kill you. He says, that's fine because I'm not real.
Yes, exactly. And next thing you know, once he sees that sweat roll down his side of his face, he knew for a fact it was a full-blown setup. And guess what? It was a full-blown setup. So basically, fast forward a little bit, Richter comes in, he knocks out his wife again, in a nutshell. And then, of course, he does that dramatic fall. And, of course, what does he do, Mom? Breaks glass.
Wait a minute. You missed it. So when he's sweating, then Quaid realizes it. What does Quaid do to him?
Shoots him around the forehead.
You didn't tell anybody
I
that.
apologize. He shoots him in the forehead.
Everybody has to be shot in the head, by the way, people.
I love
Everybody gets shot in the head
absolutely.
or the neck.
Of course.
It's all about that.
It's blood, baby. And did you notice when he falls, there's one drip of blood that just falls? Oh, go ahead. So, anyway,
okay,
the dramatic shooting.
And another big fight, glass, the whole bit. Well, he gets cuffed by Richter, okay?
Yes.
And then he gets hauled to some service elevator. And then before they get there, though, Melina comes out of the elevator and shoots
everybody.
Yeah. And then Laurie and Melina fight, which is pretty good, right?
Yes.
So they fight. They are very equal in fighting. And Laurie
athletic.
Laurie was going to fight.
Sleazy.
Laurie was going to kill Melina, and Quaid wakes up and shoots her in the head because he had passed out.
Right.
Okay, it's, again, a headshot.
Headshot, one shot, baby.
Right? So Richter and gang is alerted to that area.
Richter stumbles across it,
yes. Rushes to find Laurie dead.
Now this is where we find out that Richter and Laurie were an item.
Well, actually, we found out kind of before that.
Yes, because every time Cohagen said, I want him back with Laurie, and he starts trying to purposely mess up the signal.
Right, but they were married.
That's right, they were. See, I forgot about that part. Oh, well.
Okay, so
but
there
I remember
we go.
Ernie, the assistant. Go ahead.
The chase ensues through the mall. They want to kill each other. It's all of the same thing, okay? So he gets back. Benny, the cab driver, picks him up.
I got 5 kids to feed.
And they shoot it out with the Richter and driving. They crash into buildings. They, do all this
They
stuff.
pretty much run through Venusville.
Yeah, they do. And they go through that red light district. And then Richter goes into the last resort bar and brothel and asks Mary where they are. She says, I don't know. Turns around and he just kills her.
Yep.
Shoots her in the back.
Yep.
And then asks where Mary are, and everyone's petrified, right? And so anyway, they shoot up the place.
Yes.
Patrons and employees, they start fighting back.
Yep.
Okay. With knife, automatic rifles. Richter escapes out the window as he's breaking glass again, right?
The little lady grabs the knife and stabs the dude
remember.
in the man region.
Oh.
Made me laugh every time. Still does.
Okay, so Cohagen, the big boss, tells Richter to pull out of Venusville.
Yeah.
It's getting sealed off, and they're just going to
basically
cut off the
their
air.
version, sealing off is enclosing everybody in and just slowly shut. That's all they do is shut off the air, and
That's
they just
easy
survive
enough,
off everything.
Right?
Yep.
So
suffocate
Melina
'em.
takes Quaid to the catacombs of the first settlers who worked there.
Yeah.
And it's tells that the Cohagen took all the money and built this the domes that are cheap that made the people messed up. And Benny is there with them because he drove him over there.
Got 5 kids to feed.
And he's there. And Melina says Quato will make Quaid remember things.
Yeah, because he's a mutant. That's
so
a psychic
Quato
mutant.
Is the head of the rebellion.
Yes, he is.
We haven't talked about him yet.
Nobody knows.
But he was inferred earlier in the movie that he's the leader of this rebel movement. Okay, and so he's a mysterious type of a person.
Yes.
So we don't know he's a mutant yet. You just told us, though. Thank you, Carl. And so Quaid is prepped. Oh, so Quato's men find them, take them to the hideout, and Quaid's prepped by George, this other head, like he's his right-hand man, Quato's right-hand man, right?
Yeah, he was the bartender.
Was he?
He was the bartender.
Oh, rude guy. And but then he's informed that Quato is a mutant at that point.
I apologize. He was not the bartender. He was next to the bartender. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm tired. Okay, so so then this is the grossest part. So then they said, okay, you prepared, yeah, and he's probably thinking he's going to be like some of the other ones they saw, right?
Right.
Walking around the streets. All of a sudden, the guy opens up his shirt, and it looks like an old man baby.
It's an old man. Me. He's basically in the stomach of George, yes.
And George goes like into a coma.
He goes into a coma, yes.
The guy, Quato is talking to Quaid.
Quaid.
Oh, it's gross. It's disgusting.
What do you want, Mr. Quaid? I want to remember, we are who we are.
And then he takes Quaid's hands and says to him, open your mind.
Open your mind to me, Quaid.
Okay. So Quaid remembers what he saw in the pyramid mine.
Yes.
This is important because the pyramid mine, when they were on the train, they saw this big, like a volcano-type mountain.
Okay.
And there was a rumor that they found something in there.
They found alien relics. They found alien relics.
Right.
Yes, because when he was taking the train from the plane, or from the plane to the hotel, he talked to a guy who's actually an actor. He always usually plays a biker or a villain somewhere, but I know,
or a guy in the saloon.
Yeah. Guy in the saloon, but if you hear his voice, you know who he is. He says like, "Oh." So he's talking about, yes, you crazy, huh? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I used to work there. So until they found all that alien stuff. So there's a lot of little key shots into this, okay?
Of course. So there we go. So he remembers what's in that pyramid.
Yes,
okay?
because remember, what's his alter ego's name again? It's Hauser.
Mm-hmm.
Hauser, it was part of the elite or whatever, the police force,
mm-hmm.
and he knows all this information because he come to find out. Never mind.
Well, anyway,
I'm not
so this is an alien structure inside there. It's 500,000 years old, and it produces what?
Air.
Okay, now all of a sudden, mining bores. This is the craziest thing. You're just in a place, and these boring machines. They look terrible.
They come out of nowhere and just bam! They're all loud and clanky. But you're like, why?
There's a bunch of drills on this.
There's drills.
Tank
it's basically
thingy.
Massive drill bits on top of drill bits on top of drill bits.
Exactly.
With guns.
It's crazy,
Weird,
and it comes
yes.
crashing in. There's a lot of shooting,
yes.
course. Quaid, Melina, and George, Benny, they run to get their spacesuits on because they're going to try to escape.
Well, first of all, if we rewind a little bit, remember Benny is a mutant. He just found out.
That's right. He is a mutant.
He has a
He's
praying
a big,
mantis
weird,
hand.
Yeah, it's really gross.
Yes.
And then Benny, so they could try to get spacesuits on and everything to kind of escape this boring machine because they're going to have to go outside.
Yes.
They don't want to,
No.
So Benny closes the door and shoots George and Quato.
Yeah, George is Quato.
Yeah.
Yes. Shoots him in the back.
Yeah, and he's a traitor.
He is a traitor.
Benny all along is a traitor.
Yeah, Cohagen, he's one of Cohagen's plants.
Yeah. So before Quato dies, he tells Quaid to start the reactor.
Turn on the reactor.
And Richter shoots him in the head.
Right, Richter shoots Quato in the head.
Oh, it's so disgusting.
And it's worse. It's worse when they get captured and they go into Cohagen's boardroom. And they have the body plopped open.
Thank you.
And then, of course, you see is like, oh, what is this? He opens it up and all you hear is this.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah, thank you. It's whoever does the Foley on it. The Foley is all those
beautiful.
They add to the movies.
Yes, it was perfect.
The sound effects.
It was beautiful. And then you hear when he throws because he opens up the shirt, then he closes it. You hear.
So gross.
But then yes, and then that's where the whole basically fast forward a little bit. He comes find out that he wants Hauser back. Cohagen wants Hauser back, so he's going to put him in a recall chair.
Yeah,
a recall chair. And also he's going to put Melina in there. And then, of course, this is what's going to happen. She's going to be subservient. She's going to be this. She's going to be that.
Just like a woman should be.
Just like a way a woman should be.
Yeah.
Yes, so they struggle.
Yeah,
this and that.
So then I guess they get him in those
the chairs.
Right? And so just by pure sheer strength.
Yeah, told you, flexing.
Yeah,
and that's where
Quaid gets out.
Yeah, he tears off his right arm. He pops it off, and there's a big old huge steel beam. It was like a bolt or a beam that was actually because he snapped it. It had sharp. It was sharp. So he stabs that dude in the neck, and just comes out like a fountain.
Again,
it's
the
beautiful.
Head, the neck.
And then of course he starts, getting everything off, and he saves Melina.
But he does kill a bunch of other of those technicians.
Yeah, we're just gonna kill all the technicians, all that kind of stuff.
It's all bloody.
Everywhere, baby.
In the head,
yes,
the whole thing.
Beautiful. Go on.
And so, where am I here? Wait a second here. So they do.
Uh-oh.
Wait, I messed up something.
Open it up.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. So Richter punched. Okay, we already did all that. And then let's see, number 8, number 9. Where's number 9? So he releases Melina from the chair, runs down the hall, kills 2 guards coming out of the elevator.
Right.
Just, they're breathing, they kill. That's it.
Go on.
Deaths per minute.
Yep.
High. Okay. So then Richter says to Cohagen, hey, make a decision. Let's kill Quaid. And Cohagen said, yeah, we got to kill Quaid. Even though he didn't want him to.
No, I didn't.
Because he said to them, I'll see you at the party tonight, because they were going to
have a celebrate. They were going to celebrate and have a party, yes.
All right. But Richter didn't like it.
See you at the party.
And so Venusville, of course, is slowly running out of air. Quaid and Melina are running to the reactor to try to get it on.
Yes.
Tells Melina, don't, all about it. Okay, real quick. And then suddenly, of course, this mind-drilling tractor thing starts towards them. And guess who's in it?
Benny!
Uh-huh. And
wait, hold on. We got to stop for a second. We jumped ahead. There's a certain thing where they're in the boardroom, right? They're in the boardroom, and of course they're gloating. And he goes, why did you do it, Benny? Why did you do it? He's like, hey, man, I got 4 kids to feed. He's like, what happened to the 5th? He's like, man, I'm not even married.
Okay.
Sorry, that's that. Everyone knows that line.
Okay, so finally, it's coming towards both of them.
Yes.
And I mean, it's pretty much going to shred them up.
Yeah, because he's on the loudspeaker. Benny, hey, it's your man Benny.
And then Benny's talking trash to him.
Then he finds a drill. A man.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger finds a drill that just happens to look like the Gatling gun from Predator, another movie later on. And then, whoo, he's all, hey, Benny. Then, of course, the one-line jokes, screw you. And then he just shoves the drill in there, and he ends up
into the cab of
that tractor thing. And what happens, Mom?
Oh, wait, you forgot something.
Blood. Oh, what?
Well, he had to cut the oil line for that tractor thing.
Yeah, for them to stop, yeah.
Yeah, so then all of a sudden it's reversing. Now, I don't know why it reversed once the oil was cut. Doesn't make sense to me.
Ooh, good point. Yeah, it's just oil pressure. It had nothing to do with anything as far as motion.
So it starts reversing, so then he can crawl around, get to the cab, and kill Benny with the drill.
Yes, that's correct. Benny, screw you.
Oh, it's horrible. Okay, so they have to find the reactor. They're going to make the air for the entire planet using an underground glacier. Okay, so of course he goes to the reactor. Quaid's there. He's ambushed by Richter's men, and they shoot at him hundreds and hundreds of times. And he doesn't die because it's a hologram of himself.
That's right. It's part of the little tricks in the bag.
Uh-huh.
His friend gave it to him.
He laughs at them, starts shooting all of Richter's men.
Yep.
Okay, so that's blood
everywhere.
So he keeps tricking them with his hologram. And then Melina creates a hologram and tricks them too. And then finally Richter and Quaid are fighting hand to hand. And Quaid, oh, this is so terrible. Quaid throws him off the platform, because it's a big cavern kind of thing. And then just as he's hanging there, and he's, I'm going to pull you down with me. There's another platform coming up, and what happens, Carl?
Go ahead. You got to do it. Oh. I can't have all the fun. Go ahead.
Quaid throws him off the platform, tries to pull him down with him, and another platform is descending and cuts off Richter's arms, and he falls. And who has his arms in his hands?
Quaid. He's got them, and they're just dangling and leaking blood everywhere.
So gross.
Did you get the cheese ball line he said after
Something about, yeah. What did he say?
Let me give you a hand.
Yeah, something stupid. So Quaid goes to the source to turn on the reactor. There's a thing you have to put your hand on, and everything starts. But Cohagen's there to stop him, says it'll blow up the planet, and Quaid doesn't believe him. And so Cohagen tries to shoot Quaid, but Melina shoots him as she comes up the elevator again.
Dun, dun,
right?
dun.
Quaid grabs an explosive controller from Cohagen and throws it into this air vent. And it explodes. A great wind is created, and they're all hanging on for dear life. Right?
Yeah, cliffhanger style.
And Quaid tosses Cohagen into the air vent, and Quaid is struggling to put his hand on the activator button. Cohagen is tossed out into the Mars landscape, right, where his eyes bulge out and face deforms. He can't breathe.
Yeah,
right?
so that's where what happened to Schwarzenegger in his dream in the beginning of the movie is now happening to Cohagen now.
Now, Quaid manages to put his hand on the button and activate the reactor, but he's not able to hang on through the violent wind.
Because, him and Melina, go ahead.
Yeah, Quaid and Melina fall through the air vent onto the Martian landscape, and their eyes are bulging and faces are contorting, and they can't breathe.
That's correct, and that's where you see the big old sounds like the noise that when Han Solo was turned into low carbon.
Yeah, but
or
not
carbonite.
only that, there's a lot of Star Warsy things.
Okay,
we'll
get into that.
We can't. I'm just saying, like this air wind thing.
Yeah, okay.
That's when Luke went out to the air. You remember he got blown out. There's a lot of Star Warsy stuff.
Okay, so anyway, so you see the thing start warming up, and then you can see these big old huge lava bricks or whatever, the heat bricks. They start pressing on the glacier, and all you see is air just being released left and right. So of course the air starts flowing. Next thing you know, you see the people who are dying in Venusville here.
Yeah, but
and then it's
meantime, they're big holes being blown out of the mountain.
Yeah, the mountain is basically erupting.
Yeah,
it's pretty much
with steam and
steam's technically basically air escaping.
Exactly.
So air starts escaping, and then go ahead.
Oh, the planet starts shaking, and the force of the reactor is destroying all the windows of the settlement, and glass is everywhere. Okay, and the mountain explodes like a volcano, only with steam.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's creating an atmosphere in like a matter of 3 minutes.
Right.
And they can breathe.
You can breathe air.
And
go ahead.
all the people are in awe.
Yep.
And then, but the funniest thing is,
That's it?
Well, no, it doesn't take into account that Mars is cold.
Okay, but hold on, you're missing the most important part of this movie. What happens at the end with him and Melina overlooking everything?
I get all that
okay,
part.
you got it. Okay, I was you're not ending it like this.
No, I'm not. But the thing is they were contorting their faces pretty bad. But they can all breathe, and then it says.
And here's the funny thing, man.
Quaid and Melina after they can breathe because they're not contorting.
Hold on. Some of those mutants were messed up because of the contortion. How ironic.
Oh.
That their faces went back to normal. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Another Easter egg.
Okay, now, so Quaid and Melina kiss, and he's hoping that it's not a dream.
Okay, all right. No, okay.
Enlighten us.
I will. Okay, you gotta paint the picture. Okay, they're on top of a mountain, right?
Yes.
They're overlooking Mars, right? Okay, and what color is the sky?
Well, it's blue, isn't it?
And what did Ernie in the
in the injection room?
And that he said very faintly, this is
blue?
different. Blue sky on Mars.
So what does that mean?
So this means, was it really an implant or is it really real? And that's when the movie ends and you don't know. See, this is where it all becomes like, wait a minute, what? At the end, you realize, is it a dream or is it not a dream? Because now you're thinking, wait, the thing in injection said blue sky on Mars. Ernie said it faintly. But then you see he shot the doctor because he was sweating. So is it real or not? That's why Melina brought that question up. And that's why, yes. That's why I love this movie. Because there's no answers.
No, there is no answer.
You don't know if it's real or not unless you read the book.
Did you read the book?
Heck no, I didn't read the book. Why would I want to read the book when I can watch the movie in 2 hours?
Okay. All right, so is that it on this one?
Boom, that's it, guys. Total Recall.
Okay, but I do have something to say. One more.
Oh yes, wrap it up.
Do you really,
get the wrap
really
up.
think that Bradley, your grandson, my grandson, your nephew, at his age at 9, should watch a movie like that? It's gross and
First
gory.
of all, let me explain something to you. Okay, my father took me to go see Rambo 3. My father
because
let
he
me
doesn't
watch
know
Rambo
about...
2 as a child.
Yeah, but he doesn't know yet. He just thinks it's a little war movie like they made in the 50s.
Because I had a trunk full of toy guns. That was my toys of choice. So he encouraged it, okay? My father took me to go see Navy SEALs. My father...
Okay, wait, stop. I understand you can go list all of them.
Tons
but what
of
I'm saying is this is Total Recall. It's not a realistic thing.
Mom,
it's a fantastical thing.
I was listening.
And there's a lot of blood.
Dad
and
let
everything.
me listen to NWA when you wouldn't, okay? During this time. So you know what? Dad
He didn't know.
Yes, he did. He went and bought me the cassette after you snapped it in half.
I'm a horrible person.
Well, no, I vividly remember the argument. Okay, we were in your Jeep, your CJ Jeep, right? And you're trying to get me. You need to talk to your son because this is the music he's listening to. Blah 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 blah. And of course, Dad remembers when Grandpa went up to his room and snapped all of his Rolling Stones records in half.
Grandpa's a totally different thing.
No, to Dad, it was the same incident. It was, hey, my dad snapped my records, so you snapped his tapes. I'm going to go, and he bought me a brand new, straight out of Compton NWA tape. Even though, hey, Dad, this is what I learned. It's like, hey, it's all on how you have the music. It's either a bass beat or a drum thing. Either or, the lyrics are pretty much the same. I was like, ooh, I'm using that. Anyway, heck no, I'd beat my freaking nephew if he was watching this movie.
Okay, he has to wait till he's like at least 15 or 16.
Because the thing is, it's a whole different world then, okay? Remember, we grew up in where drive-by shootings were the norm, and we had lead in our paint.
I'm sorry,
and we had leaded gasoline.
But you didn't see drive-by shootings every day.
No, but on television, they were everywhere. It's down in South Central Los Angeles. Film at 11, you know. All I'm saying is, I watched Hamburger Hill. I watched...
Ooh, that's horrible.
That was actually a pretty weird movie. But, you know, it's different times. Different eras.
Okay.
All right. Alrighty, guys, we hope you enjoyed Mother on Movies and Carl chiming in. But anyway, guys, well, we appreciate the support you give us. We hope you enjoy it. Honestly, this was such a fun thing to do. I don't know. Mom, how did you feel about it?
I don't know. We'll find out after I listen back.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. Well, on that note, guys, we appreciate it. And good night, Mom.
Good night, Carl.